The alarm blared through the command center of Hegemony Station Zeta 12. Red lights flashed across the dark metal walls as officers of various alien species rushed to their stations. The main view screen showed a small blip moving through restricted. "Space, what is that?" Commander Zorix demanded. His scaled skin shifted from blue to purple with concern. Officer Kletak's 4 hands moved quickly over the control panel. "Unknown vessel, sir. It doesn't match any known design in our database." "Hail them," Zorix ordered. Kletak sent the standard greeting across all hegemony frequencies. They waited. No response came. "Scan the vessel," Zorix said. "The scan results?" Made Kletak's compound eyes widen. "Sir, the vessel has weapons. Advanced weapons. And its hull is made of materials we've never seen before." Zorix stood up straight, his 7-foot frame towering over the others. "Send the alert to all ships in the sector now." The message went out. Warning issued. Human war vessel detected in sector. It was the first time the word human had ever appeared in a hegemony alert. Captain John Mercer looked out the viewport of the ENV Defiant at the stars. The Defiant was Earth's newest and most advanced ship, built for stealth and combat. His mission was simple: find out what happened to the missing mining colonies. "Captain," called Lisa Woods from her communication station, "we're picking up some kind of transmission. It's not in any language I recognize." Mercer walked over to her station. He was a tall man with short brown hair and eyes that had seen too much combat. "Can you translate it?" "Working on it, sir," Woods said. Her fingers moved quickly over her console. "It's being broadcast throughout this entire sector." Chief Engineer Alan Kelly joined them, wiping grease from his hands. "Captain, something's not right. Our sensors are picking up technology levels that are beyond anything we've encountered." "Are you saying we're not alone out here?" Mercer asked. "That's exactly what I'm saying, sir." The ship suddenly rocked as something hit their shields. "Battle stations!" Mercer shouted. The alarm sounded throughout the ship, and the lighting changed to red. "What hit us?" "Some kind of energy pulse," reported Ryan Daniels from Tactical. "Shields holding at 95%. "I've translated part of the message," Woods said, her voice tense. "It's a warning about us. They're calling us human war vessel." Mercer settled into the captain's chair. "So much for peaceful first contact. Where did the attack come from?" "3 vessels approaching from Sector 47, Daniel said. "They're unlike anything I've ever seen." On the main screen, 3 ships appeared. They moved with incredible speed and precision, their hulls gleaming with a metal that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "They're surrounding us," Daniels reported. Mercer's mind raced. They were outnumbered in unknown territory. "Evasive maneuvers. Prepare jump drive." The Defiant turned sharply, the advanced inertial dampeners barely keeping the crew from feeling the G-forces. Another hit rocked the ship. "They're trying to disable our engines," Kelly reported from engineering. "But they don't understand human technology. Their attack actually charged our secondary power cells." Mercer smiled. "Let's show them what humans can do. Target their propulsion. Systems minimal force." "Weapons locked," Daniels confirmed. "Fire." The Defiant's kinetic cannons released 2 precisely aimed shots. They struck the lead alien vessel, which immediately began to drift. "1 ship disabled," Daniels reported with surprise. The Hegemony Council chamber buzzed with worried voices. The 7 members, each representing a different alien species, sat around a massive table made from rare space crystals. "This is unprecedented," said Council Leader Vox. His green skin wrinkled with concern. "No new species has entered our space in 300 years. Military Commander Braxer slammed his fist on the table. "These humans attacked our ships without warning." "After we fired on them," reminded diplomat Ilara. Her 4 eyes blinked, slowly. "Perhaps we acted too quickly." "The data is clear," said Intelligence Officer Zental, pulling up a hologram of the human ship. "This vessel was designed for war. Its weapons disabled 2 of our cruisers with a single shot each." The Council members murmured in shock. Their ships were the most advanced in known space. "We must respond with force," Braxer insisted. "Send the 8th Fleet to find their home world." Ilara rose from her seat. "We know nothing about them. This could lead to unnecessary conflict." The decision is made, Vox announced. The 8th Fleet will track this human vessel and discover their origins. We must know what we face. The Defiant exited jump space near Earth's Neptune defense perimeter. Almost immediately, 3 Earth patrol ships surrounded them. ENV, Defiant to Neptune. Command, Mercer said into the communication system. Request emergency clearance to Earth. We have first contact situation. I repeat, first contact with hostile alien life. The patrol ships escorted the Defiant through the solar system. Within hours, they reached Earth orbit. Admiral Catherine Sutton waited in the briefing room at Earth Defense Headquarters. She was a stern woman with gray hair and eyes that missed nothing. Captain Mercer and his senior crew entered and saluted. At ease, Sutton said. Tell me everything. Mercer nodded to Lisa Woods, who played the translated alien transmissions. Then Ryan Daniels showed the combat footage. Their technology is advanced, Mercer explained. But they were surprised by our shields and weapons. They didn't expect us to fight back effectively. Sutton studied the images of the alien ships. And you believe they will come looking for us? Yes, Admiral. They were calling for reinforcements as we jumped away. Chief Engineer Kelly added, their weapons are energy-based, unlike our kinetic systems. That's why our shields worked so well against them. They weren't designed to stop physical projectiles. A strategic advantage, Sutton noted. What else? Their ships are faster but less armored, Daniels said. And based on their formations, they fight with strict patterns. They weren't prepared for our unpredictable maneuvers. Admiral Sutton stood and looked out the window at Earth below. So we have both advantages and disadvantages, but most concerning is that they fired first. They may not be interested in peaceful contact. What are your orders, Admiral? Mercer asked. The Defense Council is meeting in 1 hour, all colony. Worlds are being put on alert. The First Fleet will deploy to our border regions. She turned to face them. And the Defiant will return to where you encountered these aliens. We need more information. With respect, Admiral, Mercer said. Returning to that sector would be extremely dangerous. Sutton's expression was grim. The alternative is waiting for them to find us, Captain. We need to know their capabilities and intentions. Yes, Admiral. Mercer straightened. When do we leave? As soon as we can restock your supplies and add some new equipment. Engineering has some prototypes they want to test. Kelly's eyes lit up. New weapons? And better shields, Sutton confirmed. If these aliens want to meet humanity, let's make sure they understand what they're dealing with. After the meeting, Mercer found Lisa Woods staring at the alien transmissions. Something wrong? He asked. I've been analyzing their language patterns, she said. There's something odd. They seem afraid of us. Mercer raised an eyebrow. Afraid? Of humans they just met? Yes. Their alert message wasn't just a warning. The tone suggests actual fear. She looked up at him. Why would an advanced alien civilization be afraid of a species they've never encountered before? That, Mercer said, is exactly what we need to find out. The other two are changing formation. They're calling for reinforcements, Woods said, listening to the alien communications. A lot of reinforcements. Mercer stood up. We've seen enough. We know there's advanced alien life out here and they're not friendly. Jump us back to Earth space. The Defense Council needs to know immediately. Jump coordinates set, said Navigator. Ben Collins, execute jump, Mercer ordered. The stars stretched into lines as the Defiant tore a hole in space, leaving behind 3 stunned alien ships and a hegemony that had just discovered they were not alone in the galaxy, and what they had found frightened them. The ENV Defiant moved silently through space, its new stealth systems making it nearly invisible. Captain Mercer stood on the bridge, watching as his crew worked with focused precision. We're approaching the sector where we encountered the aliens, Navigator Ben Collins announced. Maintain stealth mode, Mercer ordered. Lisa, any sign of their communications? Communications Officer Woods listened carefully through her headset. Yes, lots of traffic. They're searching for us. Chief Engineer Kelly approached with a tablet. Captain, the new shield modifications are online. If they hit us with the same weapons, we'll absorb 80% more energy than before. Good work, Mercer said. What about our weapons? Even better, Kelly grinned. The kinetic cannons now fire at twice the speed, and we've added the new missile system. Tactical Officer Daniels called from his station. Captain, sensors are picking up a fleet of ships. At least 20 vessels, much larger than the ones we encountered before. Mercer moved to the main view screen. The alien ships moved in perfect formation, scanning methodically. They really want to find us. Sir, Wood said suddenly. I'm picking up distress signals. Human distress signals. Everyone on the bridge froze. Source? Mercer demanded. A small planet in the next system, Wood said. It matches the location of the mining colony that went missing 3 months ago. Mercer's jaw tightened. They didn't disappear. They were taken. The alien fleet is between us and the colony, Daniels pointed out. Then we go around them, Mercer decided. Ben, plot a course that keeps us hidden. We need to see what happened to our people. On the mining colony of New Hope, now a prisoner camp, Frank Wilson worked in the alien laboratory. The hegemony had captured all 200 colonists and forced them to work. Frank had been a mining engineer, but the aliens discovered he was good with machines. Human. Fix this, ordered the guard, pushing a broken device toward him. Frank examined it carefully. He had learned some of their language during his captivity. Need tools, he said. The guard gave him a simple set of alien tools. Frank had secretly modified them to work better for human hands. As he worked, he listened to the guards talking. They didn't know he understood them. The High Command is panicked about the human warship, one guard said. They are searching every sector. What's so special about one ship? Asked the other. It fought back. No species has ever resisted the hegemony before. The guard lowered his voice. And they found out humans come from a death world. Frank kept his face neutral, but his mind raced. A human ship had encountered the aliens and fought back. There was hope. That night, in the small room he shared with 5 other prisoners, Frank whispered the news. We need to be ready, said Susan Clark, a former security officer. If Earth ships come, we should help them. How? Asked Bill Jones. We have no weapons. Susan smiled. We don't need weapons. We need information. Frank, can you access their computers? Maybe, Frank said. They trust me with some systems now. Get me their defense plans, Susan said. If rescue comes, we'll be ready. Back on the Defiant, Captain Mercer watched the alien prison camp through the ship's long-range cameras. 200 life signs, Daniels reported. Definitely human. And about 50 aliens guarding them, Woods added. Mercer studied the facility layout. We can't take on their entire fleet, but we might be able to rescue our people. Sir, Woods interrupted. I'm picking up a weak signal from the surface. Someone is trying to contact us using a modified alien transmitter. Put it through, Mercer ordered. Susan Clark crouched behind the alien computer terminal, her heart pounding. Frank Wilson stood watch at the door of the control room. Hurry, Frank whispered. The guard will be back in 5 minutes. Susan's fingers moved quickly over the strange controls. During her 3 months as a prisoner, she had secretly learned how the alien systems worked. I found their defense plans, she said, and something else. A report about why they fear humans. She copied the data onto the small device Frank had built from mining equipment parts. Just as she finished, they heard footsteps approaching. Someone's coming, Frank warned. They slipped out through the back entrance and joined the other prisoners walking to their work assignments. No one noticed the small device hidden in Susan's sleeve. That night, they sent the information to the Defiant using the modified transmitter. On the Defiant, Lisa Woods studied the alien data. Captain, this is incredible. The hegemony has information on Earth going back 5 years. They've been watching us. But they never made contact, Mercer said. Why? Woods pulled up a translated hegemony report. According to this, they classify planets by type. Earth is what they call a death world, a planet with high gravity, extreme weather, and dangerous wildlife. That's just normal to us, Kelly said with a shrug. Not to them, Woods explained. Their home worlds are all gentle places with stable climates. They're physically weaker than humans because they evolved in easy environments. Daniels looked up from the defense plans. That explains their reaction when we fought back. They expected us to surrender immediately like other species they've encountered. Mercer studied the prison camp layout on the main screen. Can we use this fear against them? I think so, Woods said. The prisoners report that even mentioning Earth makes the guards nervous. They believe humans have special abilities because we survived on our death world. Then let's show them something truly terrifying, Mercer said with a smile. A night attack. Night attack? Kelly asked. Humans see better in darkness than the hegemony species, Mercer explained. According to this data, their night vision is poor. We'll use that advantage. In the hegemony command ship, Commander Vexlar received alarming news. The human prisoners are acting strangely, reported the camp supervisor. They're smiling and talking more than usual. Have they found out about the human warship? Vexlar demanded. Unknown. But their behavior changed yesterday. Double the guards, ordered Vexlar, and search for any hidden communication devices. An aide rushed in. Commander, our long-range scanners detected an energy spike near the prison planet. The human ship? Vexlar stood quickly. Possibly. But we lost the signal immediately. Vexlar's skin turned pale with fear. Deploy the fleet in defense formation. The humans must not free their people. As darkness fell on the prison camp, Frank Wilson watched the guards from his window. They were nervous, holding their weapons tightly and looking at the sky. They know something's coming, he told Susan. Good, she said. Fear makes people make mistakes. A soft beep came from their hidden communicator. Susan checked the message and smiled. It's time, she told the other prisoners. The Defiant will attack in 1 hour. When the lights go out, we move. Bill Jones, once a construction worker, now held a makeshift weapon. What about the guards? Avoid them if possible, Susan instructed. Head for the south gate. Our people will be there. Frank looked out at the alien guards. They've controlled us through fear for months. Now they'll learn what it means to be afraid of humans. In the darkness above the planet, the Defiant moved silently into position. Captain Mercer gave the order. Begin Operation Nightfall. The first step of humanity's counterattack against the hegemony had begun. A scratchy voice came through the speakers. This is Susan Clark of New Hope Mining Colony. We have information about hegemony defenses. They're afraid of humans. Use that fear. Mercer looked at his crew. Send a message back. Tell them help is coming, but we need their information first. What's the plan, Captain? Kelly asked. We're going to rescue our people, Mercer said. And then we're going to show these aliens why they're right to be afraid of humans. The Defiant moved into position above the prison camp. The ship's new stealth systems kept it hidden from the hegemony sensors. All systems ready, Kelly reported from engineering. Captain Mercer nodded. Launch the disruptors. 6 small devices shot out from the Defiant. They fell silently toward the prison camp below. Disruptors will hit in 30 seconds. Daniels counted down. Prepare the landing team, Mercer ordered. In the shuttle bay, Lieutenant Sam Carter checked his team's equipment one last time. 20 soldiers in black armor stood ready. They wore night vision goggles and carried non-lethal weapons. Remember, Carter told his team, our mission is to rescue the prisoners, not to fight a war. Use force only if necessary. Disruptors activated, Daniels announced on the bridge. Below, all across the prison camp, the lights suddenly went out. Alien guards shouted in confusion as their equipment failed. Communications are down, Woods reported. The camp is cut off. From the hegemony fleet. Launch the rescue team, Mercer commanded. 2 shuttles left the Defiant, flying down toward the dark camp with their lights off. Inside the prison, Susan Clark heard the power system shut down. Emergency lights tried to turn on but failed. That's our signal, she whispered to the other prisoners. Move. 200 humans quietly left their rooms and moved through the darkness. The aliens stumbled around, unable to see well without light. Frank led a group toward the south gate as planned. An alien guard appeared in front of them, waving a light stick wildly. "Stop!" the guard shouted. Bill Jones stepped forward and threw a metal object past the guard. It clattered loudly. Down a side hall, the guard turned toward the noise. Frank quickly moved behind him and used a pressure point technique Susan had taught them. The alien fell unconscious. "Keep moving," Frank urged the others. The rescue shuttles landed just outside the south gate. Lieutenant Carter's team moved quickly into position. "No resistance at the gate," Carter reported to the Defiant. "The prisoners should be heading your way," Mercer replied through the comm system. Carter saw shapes moving in the darkness. He raised his hand, signaling his team to be ready. "Identify yourselves," he called out softly. "Susan Clark, New Hope." "Mining colony," came the response. "We have about 50 people with us." Carter moved forward. "I'm Lieutenant Carter from the ENV Defiant. Where are the others?" "Coming in groups," Susan explained. "We couldn't all move together without being noticed." Carter directed his team to help the prisoners board the shuttles. "Captain, we've made contact with the first group. Loading now." On the Hegemony command ship, Commander Vexlar grew increasingly anxious. "Why can't we contact the prison camp?" he demanded. "Unknown, sir," his officer replied. "All communications are down. Send ships to investigate." "Sir, our sensors are picking up unusual activity near the planet's surface." Vexlar slammed his fist on the console. "The humans are there. Launch all fighters." Back at the prison camp, most of the prisoners had reached the shuttles. Frank Wilson arrived with the last group, helping an injured woman walk. "That's everyone," he told Lieutenant Carter. Suddenly, alien searchlights cut through the darkness from above. "Hegemony ships approaching," warned the shuttle pilot. Carter looked up and saw 5 alien fighters descending toward them. "Everyone, on board now. We need to go." The last prisoners rushed onto the shuttles as the alien ships opened fire. Energy bolts hit the ground around them. "Shuttles, return immediately," Captain Mercer ordered from the Defiant. "We'll cover you." The Defiant decloaked above the prison camp, its weapons targeting the alien fighters. The ship fired precise shots, disabling the shuttles docked safely inside the Defiant. Medical teams rushed to help the rescued prisoners, many of whom were thin and weak from months of poor treatment. "Jump us out of here," Mercer ordered once all shuttles were secure. The Defiant vanished into jump space just as the main Hegemony fleet arrived. Commander Vexlar watched in frustration as his sensors showed the human ship escaping. On the Defiant, Captain Mercer met with Susan Clark and Frank Wilson in the ship's conference room. They looked much better after showers, fresh clothes, and a proper meal. "Thank you for the information you sent us," Mercer said. "It was crucial to the rescue mission's success." Susan nodded. "We had to do something. The aliens were using us to study human biology and technology." "What did they learn?" Mercer asked. Frank frowned. "They were most interested in our ability to adapt. They kept putting us in different environments to see how we would respond. I copied their research data," Susan added, placing a small device on the table. "It might help explain why they fear us so much." Lisa Woods examined the device. "This is impressive work. You built this from mining equipment?" "Frank did," Susan said. "He can make almost anything from spare parts." Mercer looked impressed. "We could use people with your skills. Earth is preparing for possible war with the Hegemony." "You can count on us," Frank said firmly. "We want to help." The Defiant reached Earth 2 days later. Admiral Sutton met them at the space dock. She listened carefully as Mercer reported on the rescue mission. 200 people rescued with no casualties, she said. "Excellent work, Captain." "The prisoners were extremely helpful," Mercer explained. "They provided intelligence and organized themselves for the escape." "I want to meet these people," Sutton said. In a large meeting room, the rescued colonists gathered. Admiral Sutton addressed them. "You've endured a terrible experience," she said, "but your courage and resourcefulness have given Earth valuable information about our new enemy." Scientists and military officers interviewed the former prisoners about the Hegemony. Frank Wilson worked with engineers to explain alien technology he had observed. Susan Clark met with intelligence officers to share what she had learned about hegemony tactics. Later, Admiral Sutton called an emergency meeting with Earth's defense leaders. Captain Mercer and his senior crew attended, along with Susan and Frank. The data from the rescued prisoners confirms our initial assessment, Sutton told the group. The hegemony has superior technology in some areas, but they have critical weaknesses we can exploit. She displayed a map of hegemony space. They control over 50 star systems and have dominated their region of space for centuries. They've conquered or absorbed every species they've encountered. Until now, Mercer added. Exactly, Sutton said. Their entire strategy is based on overwhelming force and the assumption that other species will surrender quickly. Frank spoke up. They don't understand humans. They kept expecting us to break under pressure, but we just got more determined. That's our advantage, Sutton said. Their psychology is different. They avoid conflict when possible and prefer to win through intimidation rather than actual fighting. So what's our plan? Asked Lisa Woods. Admiral Sutton's expression was serious. The hegemony now knows where Earth is. They'll send a fleet to either conquer us or destroy us. We need to strike first. She pointed to a location on the map. This is their central communications hub. If we can disable it, their fleet movements will be thrown into chaos. That's deep in their territory, Mercer noted. Getting there won't be easy. No, Sutton agreed. But we have something they don't expect, a captured hegemony officer. Everyone looked surprised. During the rescue mission, Sutton explained, one of our other ships captured a hegemony scout vessel. The officer on board knows the codes and protocols we need. Mercer nodded slowly. So we use their own systems against them. Exactly, Sutton said. Captain, prepare the Defiant for a special mission. You'll be going into the heart of hegemony space, fighters without destroying them. The shuttles lifted off, carrying all 200 rescued prisoners. All shuttles away, the pilot reported, to Carter. Heading back to the Defiant. As they rose through the atmosphere, the prisoners looked out the windows. Many had tears in their eyes. We thought Earth had forgotten us, Frank said quietly. Lieutenant Carter shook his head. Humans don't leave their people behind. The Defiant flew through hegemony space in complete silence. Its engines were modified to leave no energy trail. Its hull was covered with a new material that absorbed sensor signals instead of reflecting them. On the bridge, Captain Mercer watched the main screen carefully. 2 hegemony patrol ships passed nearby without noticing them. Our stealth systems are working perfectly, Kelly said quietly, as if the enemy might hear him. So far, Mercer replied. How much longer to the communications hub? 3 hours at current speed, Ben Collins answered from navigation. Lisa Woods turned from her station. Captain, I've been working with the captured hegemony officer. He's providing more information than expected. Can we trust him? Mercer asked. I believe so, Woods said. His name is Trazak. He's from a minority group within the hegemony who believe they should make peaceful contact with other species. Bring him to the bridge, Mercer ordered. A few minutes later, Woods arrived, with a tall, thin alien. Trazak had pale blue skin and large eyes that blinked nervously. The human crew watched him with curiosity. Captain, Trazak spoke in careful English. Your plan to attack the communications hub is good, but incomplete. Explain, Mercer said. Trazak moved to the main screen and pointed to a structure near the hub. This is their emergency backup system. If you disable the main hub, this will activate within minutes. We didn't know about that, Mercer admitted. Few do, Trazak said. But I worked as a communications engineer before joining the scout ship, Candy. You help us disable both systems? Mercer asked. Yes, Trazak said. But I must go with your team. The backup system requires special codes that change daily. Mercer looked at Woods. Your assessment? I believe he's genuine, she said. He's been consistent in all his information so far. Mercer nodded. Very well. You'll join the landing team. In the shuttle bay, Lieutenant Carter briefed his team. 20 soldiers checked their equipment while Frank Wilson examined a small device he had built. This will disrupt their internal sensors for 30 minutes, Frank explained. After that, they'll know we're there. Susan Clark studied a map of the communications hub. Once inside, we'll split into 2 teams. Team 1 will plant explosives on the main system. Team 2 with Trazak will disable the backup. Remember, Carter told everyone, this is not a suicide mission. We plant the charges, set the timers, and get out. The team boarded 2 shuttles. Captain Mercer's voice came through the comm system. We're approaching the target. Good luck, everyone. The communications hub orbited a small moon. It was a massive structure with multiple towers and antenna arrays. The Defiant approached from the dark side of the moon, hidden from the hub's sensors. Release the shuttles, Mercer ordered. The 2 small craft slipped away from the Defiant and flew silently toward the hub. They landed on the outer hull near an access port, team members in spacesuits attached to the hull with magnetic boots. Trazak pointed to a panel, and Frank quickly bypassed the security system. The access door opened. Once inside, they removed their spacesuits and activated Frank's disruption device. The hub's internal alarms immediately went silent. It worked, Frank whispered. Teams split up, Carter ordered. Remember, 30 minutes total. Susan led Team 1 toward the main control room. They moved quickly through empty corridors. Most of the hub was automated with few staff. They reached the main system room and placed explosive charges on key equipment. Susan set the timer for 25 minutes. Charges set, she reported through her comm unit. Same here, came Carter's voice. Trazak is disabling the backup system now. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. Red lights flashed throughout the hub. What happened? Susan asked. Unknown, Carter replied. But we need to leave now. Susan's team ran back toward the shuttles. They turned a corner and found 5 hegemony guards blocking their path. Humans detected, one guard shouted, raising his weapon. From another corridor, Carter's team appeared behind the guards. The hegemony soldiers, caught between 2 groups of humans, froze in confusion. Trazak stepped forward. Let them pass, he said in the Hega. The 2 shuttles raced away from the communications hub. Behind them, the timer on the explosives continued to count down. 5 minutes to detonation, Susan reported. Lieutenant Carter contacted the Defiant. Captain, both teams are clear of the hub, heading to rendezvous point now. Good work, Mercer replied. We're detecting hegemony ships moving to your position. Hurry. The shuttles pushed their engines to maximum speed. In the distance, 3 hegemony patrol ships appeared, moving to intercept them. They've spotted us, the shuttle pilot announced. Trazak looked worried. They will try to capture, not destroy. They want to know how humans breached their security. We won't let that happen, Carter said firmly. The patrol ships fired warning shots across their path. The shuttles swerved to avoid them. 2 minutes to detonation, Susan counted. Suddenly, the Defiant decloaked between the shuttles and the patrol ships. Its weapons targeted the enemy vessels with precision shots that disabled their engines without destroying them. Shuttles dock immediately, Mercer ordered. The shuttles flew into the Defiance Bay just as the first explosions began in the communications hub. The structure broke apart in a series of bright flashes. Hub destroyed, Daniels confirmed from Tactical. Both primary and backup systems are offline. Jump us out of here, Mercer commanded. The Defiant vanished into jump space moments before more hegemony ships arrived at the scene. 3 weeks later, Admiral Sutton addressed the Earth Defense Council. Captain Mercer, his crew, and the former prisoners stood at attention nearby. The mission was a complete success, Sutton announced. With their communications network disabled, the hegemony fleet is in disarray. Their planned attack on Earth has been postponed indefinitely. The council members applauded. Sutton continued. Even more importantly, we have received a message from the Hegemony High Council. They wish to open peace talks. Murmurs of surprise filled the room. Trazak stepped forward when Sutton gestured to him. My people have never faced a species like humans before, Trazak explained. You did not follow our expectations. When captured, you did not submit. When attacked, you did not surrender. This has caused many in the hegemony to reconsider their policies. Sutton nodded. We have agreed to meet with hegemony representatives on a neutral planet in 1 month. Captain Mercer and the Defiant will lead our diplomatic team. After the meeting, Mercer found Susan and Frank in the observation lounge looking out at Earth below. What happens now? Susan asked. Admiral Sutton wants you both to join the diplomatic mission, Mercer said. Your experience with the hegemony will be valuable. Frank looked thoughtful. Do you think we can really have peace with them? I believe it's possible, Mercer replied. Trazak has shown us that not all of them want conflict. They've dominated space for so long that they forgot how to deal with equals. And now they've found one in humanity, Susan said. More than an equal, Mercer smiled. They've found a species that can survive and thrive in conditions they consider impossible. That frightens some of them, but it fascinates others. Frank nodded. Like Trazak. He can't stop asking questions about Earth. That curiosity might be the foundation for real understanding between our species, Mercer said. Later that evening, Mercer met with Lisa Woods on the Defiance bridge. The ship was being prepared for its diplomatic mission. Hard to believe it. All started with a simple warning about a human war vessel, Woods said. Their warning was correct, Mercer replied. Just not in the way they expected. What do you mean? Woods asked. They thought they were warning about a threat to their safety, Mercer explained. Instead, it was a warning about the end of their dominance. The galaxy is changing, and humanity will be part of that change. As the Earth turned slowly below them, Mercer looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the hegemony was preparing for peace talks with the humans they once feared, and beyond them were countless other species and civilizations waiting to be discovered. The true journey was just beginning. Money language. Or none of us will survive the explosions. The guards looked at each other uncertainly. 20 minutes, until detonation, Susan reminded everyone. The lead guard lowered his weapon. Go, he said. The humans raced past the guards toward the shuttles.